This is the summary that Vision is sending back. So the video appears to capture a sequence of a spotted seal pup leisurely resting and maneuvering around on a sandy beach. The seal seems relaxed and is possibly taking a break from swimming or basking on the shore. Hello friends, so I'm really excited to show you how I managed to get that done. Let's dive right in. So you may be wondering, what, who, when? Like, why do this, Joey? So it all started when my friend Becca Williams gave this excellent talk at a generative AI meetup, and I'll provide all the details to the meetup and to this page as well. And so she demoed this project that she's working on, where she was able to query the YouTube API and then get a bunch of information about the videos back, including their transcripts, then feed the transcripts to ChatGPT, and then email basically a summary of summaries to herself or to anyone that's interested in subscribing, which is excellent. And so this is what the structure of that looks like. So it starts off with grabbing the videos from the YouTube API. Let me just zoom in a bit. So it involves grabbing the videos from the YouTube API and then doing various filtering. So like by date. So for example, just give me the videos published in the last 7 days by a certain author, and also filtering by duration as well. For example, if you don't want the short videos, if you just want the long form videos. Then she extracted the transcript and then fed the transcript to ChatGPT for summarization, and then emailed a digest to herself. She's written this all out very clearly in a Colab notebook, which I will also link to. And so she provided an excellent demo, and she then very generously threw out this challenge to anyone that wants to take it up, which is the first challenge. So to build off what she had, and the first challenge was to retrieve videos based on a question rather than usernames, because her project, her summariser relied on the usernames of the channel. So what if instead of feeding a certain username, you could say, how do I learn generative AI fast, and then summarize those videos? The second challenge, create a summary that leverages timestamps to link back to the video. So for example, if you, in your summary, if you're like, oh, I'd like to get some more details on that, how would you basically link back to the source video? By the way, I'm just guessing what the use cases are here. This is just how I'd probably use YouTube. And the third one, use GPT Vision only to provide a summary for each video. So not all videos have transcripts. And so what do you do in the absence of transcripts? Well, you probably need ChatGPT or some generative AI to look at what's going on. And so how do you use GPT Vision to do that for you? And so I felt like the challenges were in order of increasing difficulty, the first one being the easiest and the last one being the hardest. And let's dive in and go through them right now. So the first challenge, retrieve videos based on a question rather than usernames. So this is a basic structure that Becca provided. It was a really good foundation to build from. So we grabbed the videos from the YouTube API, and she provided a method where you feed in a playlist ID, and you grab the videos from the YouTube API, and then filter by date and duration, extract the transcript, feed the transcripts to ChatGPT for summarization, and they get an email digest. So all I had to do to answer that first challenge was to use a search object instead of the playlist object. And you just feed in a question and you're pretty much good to go with minimal tweaks. I'll take you through the code for that. But if you don't want to do that, if you're not interested in taking a deeper look, just skip to the next chapter. So I've got this little notebook here, and so I built off Becca's method, which was get videos from playlist. So instead of taking a playlist ID, I take a question, and I provided some other flags here just to make the testing loop a little bit shorter. And also this flag here to allow me to toggle between allowing short videos versus not. So I call the YouTube API and I get a whole bunch of videos returned, and then I filter those videos based on the publication date, and then I get the durations for that set of videos, and then based off those durations I can filter them out based on the allow shorts flag. And then at the end I just give myself some login, just basically to see how many videos I got left, and if it's the case that I've just filtered out everything, then I will basically just say there's no more videos to get, and just return from there, and everything ends. I also apply a limiter here, an arbitrary limiter. So like if it's the case that I've returned 100 videos, or some massive number, then for one, I might rack up a huge cost sending all those transcripts to ChatGPT to summarize, and second, like I only have so much attention, right? So I think generally a good number is probably about 10. What's the default? I put the limit as 5. Yeah, quality, not quantity, right? So based off that limited scope, I go in and I get information for the final video ID, title, description, thumbnail, published at, transcript, duration, and chapters. The chapters comes in a little bit later because in Becker's code we didn't have a method for searching for chapters. That was part of challenge 2. So a little bit of a teaser there. And okay, so now if I wanted to search for, so here's a little demo. So if I wanted to search for how can I learn generative AI fast for videos that were published in the last year, 365 days, and limiting only to the top 5 and not allowing any shorts, what comes back? Great. So I've got 5 videos that got returned there, and so that's great. And then I can plug that into OpenAI and generate summaries. I'll close the loop on that, but I think now is a good time to talk about the next challenge, which is to create a summary that leverages timestamps to link back to the video. So in the BBC will make sense soon. In the code that Becca provided, she had this prompt: distill the following transcripts down into 5 actions you can mark as complete as a numbered list, no other content. Please make each one practical and specific. So that leverages off the transcript, but doesn't make any mention of the chapters timestamps if they're available. And so it'll be great to be able to leverage off them, because if you find an insight that you like, you might want to go back to the source and get more detail. And so going back to this high level structure, all I had to do, once again, it was just a few small tweaks to get this in, was to take a look at the chapters, and if the chapters are there, add the chapters and timestamps to the summary that gets fed to ChatGPT. Seems simple, right? The only thing is that the YouTube API didn't really have a good way of exposing the chapters. As I found through a lot of frustrating searching, I came across this Stack Overflow article, the Stack Overflow post, and the highest ranked answer, but not the accepted one, is this guy providing his open source API, which was fantastically implemented, very, very nicely done. And so you can just get the chapters from there. So I got the chapters through that, and let's go back to my code now. Where this plugs into the entire workflow is that you have, when we get all the information for the final video, we have this chapters field now, which calls this get chapters for video. And so here's the implementation of that: get chapters for video, takes in a video ID, and it calls that open source API, and it pulls down the chapters and pulls them into a list of chapters. And so if none are returned, then it will be an empty list. So as we go down to this summarize transcript method, and so it's a little bit more complicated than the nice elegant prompt that Becca provided before. And so this is the way I prompt ChatGPT. I say, I'm going to provide you with a video ID, the transcript of the video and its chapters. The chapter will be a Python list of objects in the following format. And that was what got returned from that method that I showed previously. The chapter timestamp corresponds to the timestamp of the chapter. Summarize this into 5 actions. This is basically Becca's prompt. For each point, link to the corresponding chapter by placing the corresponding chapter timestamp. That's not great English, but it works. it's an incomplete sentence. But I hacked this together in a bit of a rush, but hey, whatever works, right? So, and I told it, the summary should look like this. Point 1. So basically give me point 1 and then the link to it. Then point 2, give me the link to that, and so on. And then the video ID and the chapters probably could be arranged to be a bit more elegant, but hey, it works. And so I've got this little loop here that basically takes in all of the videos and then it summarizes the transcripts and then prints it out into a digest. So there's only one here. I mainly wanted to demonstrate the power of leveraging these timestamps. And so as you can see, it's given me 5 actionable points and the timestamps to go along with it. So for example, discover the power of generative AI and how it can generate new samples on learned patterns. So if I go to this link, it's taken me to that video, Google's AI course for beginners in 10 minutes. And
a dog. We finally get to generative AI. Unlike
it's a bit loud, but yeah, you can see it's going to talk about generative AI. And so that's wonderful, I think. I was pretty chuffed when I got that to work. And the missing piece was that hero open source developer that decided to open up the chapters API so that we could all benefit. So thank you, sir. So moving on to the third part of the challenge. So use GPT Vision only to provide a summary for each video. Now, I found it. Initially, I was just thinking about like, why would you want to do that? Like, if you're getting perfectly good summaries from the transcripts, why try to make things more complicated? And I was thinking, but what about the videos that don't have transcripts? And so, yeah, you might want a video of that, or perhaps there might be a snippet in one of these interviews where there's no talking or anything, that just showing something happening. And so I thought about a few ways of doing this. And so I basically wanted to do it in such a way that it wasn't going to violate any copyright or anything like that. So I went on Pexels and I found this baby seal picture. Such a cute baby seal. And I basically thought, okay, so because I'm probably going to need to download a video from YouTube in order to make this happen. So I wanted to not violate any copyrights. These are royalty-free images from Pexels. So I got that and I uploaded it to my channel, and I've given the correct attribution as well. And I'll provide the full link in the show description as well. So in terms of what I needed to do in order to make that happen, so building on further was just basically put in some conditional logic that basically said, like, if there's no transcript, then use GPT Vision to summarize. This is probably the simple part. This is the harder part. It was actually easier than I thought it would be, thanks to a lot of people that have gone before. And so there was like an open AI cookbook that I was able to leverage off, which was very useful. And so, and I will provide the link to that as well. So in terms of where in the code this gets plugged in, so we've got this get video transcript from this parent, get videos from question method that I introduced earlier on. So get video transcript. So if you look at the get video transcript method, there is there's a try accept block. And so I call the YouTube transcript API, but if there isn't a transcript available, then you get an error. So I'm basically handling that error. I know it should be a bit more specific, but we can tidy that up later. But so if we run into that error, then we go to this create transcript via Vision. So it falls back to this method. And so just stepping through the create transcript via Vision method. So it takes in a video ID and has an option to delete the source as well. It has the option to delete the source as well. I put that in there because I want to make sure I just clean up everything that needs to get cleaned up. And so because there could possibly be a bit touchy downloading videos from YouTube and stuff. So I called this PyTube method, download video from YouTube, and so that will download the video to the directory where this script is being run from, and then I use the CV2 library to extract the frames, and a lot of this stuff I just copied and pasted. I didn't really take the time to understand it. But the idea is that you take the video, you extract the frames from it, and then we have this prompt. These are frames from a video I want to upload. Create a summary of what is happening in the video. It's important to note here that we're not sending all of the frames to ChatGPT because that could be quite expensive. In this case, we're sending only every 50th frame. And so I've also got some login here to just tell me how many frames are getting created. ChatGPT will send us a summary of what is happening in the video, and I'll demonstrate that shortly. And then if we have that delete source flag checked, then we will also remove the video from the hard drive. So let's give this a run. So for testing purposes, I showed you that video of the baby seal. I also made it a very distinct title, so I make sure that I'd get it back from the search. Please pardon all the sirens in the background. Hopefully I managed to cut all of that out. So let's see what happens when you run this. Tell me how many frames got read. This is the summary that Vision is sending back. So the video appears to capture a sequence of a spotted seal pup leisurely resting and maneuvering around on a sandy beach. The seal seems relaxed and is possibly taking a break from swimming or basking on the shore. It surveys its surroundings, and you can observe the distinct spotted pattern of its fur. The movements captured suggest that the seal is shifting positions, perhaps to get more comfortable or respond to stimuli around it. The overall tone of the video is likely to be calm and serene, possibly invoking a sense of tranquility of nature and the charm of marine life. Now, that is a really rich description. I love it. The only thing is it's meant to be a summary. So it hasn't quite got the summary part, but I'm pretty sure with like some tweaking to the prompts, we can get there quite nicely. So back to the challenges. I really enjoyed doing this challenge, and so thank you, Becca, for providing such a wonderful challenge to explore the capacities of generative AI. And thank you everyone for watching. Bye.